Trying to stay healthy right now feels like running a marathon where the route cuts straight through a neon-lit obstacle course of hyper-processed calories. We're told staying fit is a matter of personal discipline, that if you push hard enough, you can out-willpower an environment designed to make you eat. But human biology hasn't changed. Look back at America in the 1960s, and the obesity rate sat right around 12%. Today, that number has surged past 40%. This data visualization compares those numbers to the Japanese paradox. While America crosses 40%, Japan maintains an obesity rate of a mere 4.5%. The obvious assumption is that Japanese citizens must spend hours sweating it out in fitness centers. Yet 21% of Americans hold gym memberships, while only 3.3% of adults in Japan do. Looking at the next metric on this chart, you might wonder if nicotine is acting as an appetite suppressant. But that doesn't fit the data either. 25% of Japanese men smoke, which is nearly double the 13% rate in the United States. If the health of a population isn't being built in the gym or explained away by lifestyle vices, it suggests that the difference between these two nations isn't found in how hard people are trying. Instead, the disparity points toward a divergence in the default settings of the world they walk through every day. This divergence starts in childhood. In the United States, a late shift in 1970 allowed schools to outsource their cafeterias to private for-profit companies. The result was a steady influx of mass-produced, heavily processed items masquerading as a balanced meal. By contrast, Japanese schools employ designated nutritionists who plan and prepare meals from scratch every single day. Students sit down to balanced portions of vegetables, rice, roasted fish, and meats, establishing a baseline of whole foods early on. This repeated exposure physically calibrates a child's taste buds. When you spend your formative years eating subtly flavored, nutrient-dense foods, the intense sugar rush of a standard American dessert, or even a breakfast yogurt, registers as overwhelmingly, unpleasantly sweet. This scale comparison illustrates the result in the national data. The average American consumes nearly 34 kilograms of sugar per year. A Japanese citizen eats exactly 17.7. Because of this dietary education, navigating the food landscape as an adult doesn't require intense cognitive effort. Choosing a balanced meal becomes a subconscious reflex, dictated by a palate that naturally craves nutrition over simple syrup. That high-access environment extends directly into the adult working world. Japan is packed with roughly 55,000 convenience stores, creating an intensely dense urban layout, where grabbing a quick bite is never more than a short walk away. That convenience here doesn't equal junk. For about $9, a standard convenience store run yields simmered fish, an array of vegetables, and a bottle of unsweetened green tea. Compare that to the typical American gas station, where the options are mostly chips, candy, or something vaguely fried sitting under a heat lamp. And when people want a sit-down meal in a hurry, they don't have to default to a drive-through burger chain. Japan has thousands of highly accessible rice bowl establishments, where $4 buys a traditional breakfast of rice, fermented soybeans, and miso soup. In the American landscape, the morning rush hour is dominated by massive breakfast burritos, sugary hot cakes, and processed meats that stack up the daily calorie count before the workday even begins. This proximity to whole foods means that even for the busiest urban worker, the path of least resistance is nutritionally sound. Here, the drive for convenience and the need for health aren't in conflict. Then there are the mechanics of volume. Take a walk down a stateside beverage aisle, and the shelves are dominated by massive 2-liter bottles and oversized cans. It's an environment that equates physical bulk with financial value. Japan's countermeasure is distributed across its 4 million vending machines. The products inside, many of which are simply unsweetened teas and water, are packaged in highly specific, smaller sizes, clearly intended to be comfortably finished in a single sitting. This careful approach to portioning is tethered to a deep-seated cultural concept known as mottainai. It translates roughly to a profound sense of regret over wastefulness, a value instilled in citizens since childhood. Because leaving unfinished food on your plate is considered offensive, the American habit of the doggy bag barely exists. To prevent waste, restaurants are culturally obligated to serve reasonable portions that a normal person can actually finish without feeling stuffed. By combining tightly engineered product packaging with the heavy social pressure of mottainai, the environment structurally limits consumption. Citizens are physically and socially insulated against the trap of accidental overeating. Whether it's a quick stop at a convenience store or a late night out at one of the country's thousands of pubs, the Japanese landscape offers a reliable baseline of varied whole foods, a starkly lower reliance on heavily processed seed oils, and portions scaled to human biology. It all comes down to environmental friction. If you simply follow the path of least resistance in America and eat what everyone else is eating, the mathematical default is obesity. If you follow that exact same path in Japan, the default is lean health. Most of us don't have the power to instantly rewrite national food policy or redesign our cities, but we can apply these mechanics to our own lives. By adjusting our home defaults, scaling down our portion sizes, and rejecting hyper-sweetness, we can curate a personal space where the healthiest decision is simply the easiest one to reach.